presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Welcome to the home of the Wells Fargo Championship, where the likes of Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, and long-hitting J.B. Holmes have all won. It was first opened for play in 1961. It has really grown through the years. It is now played by the best in the world. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Let's jump down to the golf course. He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Frank, here we are at another par 5, second shot to the 7th. Is it time to go pedal to the metal?
Yeah, this is the shortest of the 4 par 5s, and this second shot has to be respected. Left obviously isn't ideal, but it's still better than letting the ball go to the right.
Frank, not where he wants to be, but not out of the hole here at the par 5.
No, but Rich, to drop a shot here would really set him backwards.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor.
Even par currently.
Good roll, solid. That's a par. Out of the short par 4-8 here at Quail Hollow, just 350 yards. Frank, players can lay it up and just hit a little baby wedge into the green, but why not go for it in one, try to make something happen?
I think both plans work. He's gone for a little extra.
Are you kidding me? Come on, you can't hit a ball that hard.
That is crushing it beyond all crushing.
Wow, Frank, that was an absolute bomb right there.
Yeah, what's longer than long? Because we just saw it.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Well, at last, a birdie. Frank, this is a really good way to finish out the front side here at Quail Hollow. 495-yard par 4.
Yeah, it's the longest par 4 at Quail Hollow. Some say it might be the toughest. I'm not quite in that camp, and the reason why, that green slopes in from both sides, the left and the right, but you can see why good drivers have done well here, because it was a big reward for a big, long, straight drive down here.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Frank, break down this approach shot here at the long par 4 9th.
Well, it's a lengthy one. A nice high, soft landing shot would work, but don't be too concerned if you're a little left or right of target, because the mounding on the green should help in your favor. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it.
Lucky devil. That was going in the bunker all the way.
This would be nice. 2 straight birdies. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. Oh, that's fine.
Frankie's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy, but on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
Frank, this one's not looking good.
Yeah, certainly not down the fairway line, heading toward the rough.
You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Oh, it looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Frank in a bit of trouble here at the par 5, missing the green on that third shot.
Yeah, just battling to make par. And this is going to be difficult.
Solid play, heart of the green. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Back here at the par 4 11th at Quail Hollow, set to tee off. What's the right game plan here, Frank?
Oh, there's two really. That left bunker off the tee, it's about 265 yards to get it on the fairway, or 308 yards, 310 yards run out there. I've seen players just try and carry the bunker, sort of set up a short iron, and I've seen players like Rory McIlroy just try and blast a driver with a hook on it. Both strategies have worked.
So this is where club selection becomes much more important. Uphill, make sure you have enough stick, and then swing away. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. Made par yesterday. This one for birdie.
A little bit more hope than determination in that putt.
Not this time. And getting ready for the putt. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. And we welcome you to one of the most popular golf courses on the PGA Tour. It is Quail Hollow. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Frank, it is just starting to heat up out on the golf course. Fans are streaming in, anticipating a highly contested event with the best golfers in the world.
One reason the fans love this course so much, Rich, the Green Mile. It's fine to have a good golf course, but it's got to have a great finish. It's got a great finish, then it becomes a great golf course. Quail Hollow has that great finish of 16, 17, and 18.
So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here. This looks like it's heading for the bunker.
That's a disappointment right there, Frank.
Yeah, green light special, really. Come up considerably short.
He'll need to be strong with this. And he's made the green. Well, with that drop shot, moves to 1 over for the tournament. Frank, in today's modern game where players are hitting it so far, I always feel like one of the more exciting holes is a reachable par 5, and here we are at the 5th, 570 yards.
Yeah, this is reachable providing you hit a good drive. Otherwise, it becomes very awkward on the layup. Often threading the ball out of trees and just trying to find some sort of third shot. So to your point, big advantage with a good tee shot here.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle.
You can see a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough.
Oh, and it gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane. How about that shot right there from that lie in the rough to knock it that close? That's good. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Everybody loves him. Birdie on the card. Frank, this is where you know that players like Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy are playing a different game than guys like me. They step up to this 250-yard par 3 and they might hit a 5-iron. It is a little downhill, but they might be with a middle iron where a lot of us would be with a driver.
Well, you see the advantage of that power on this very hole, not just because of the length they got to hit it, but the green they're heading into. This green slopes off in both directions, right and left, so you have to land that ball in the middle of the green. So, yeah, it's a big advantage if you can go at this hole with like a 5-iron.
That one was running so hot. Settles in over the putt. So frustrating sometimes on the greens, isn't it? Drop shot here at the 6th. Just a couple of feet. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Well, Frank, an eagle is in play here at the par 5 7th.
And a 6, and a 7, and an 8, or a 9, actually. This is a potential scorecard record, the 7th hole. Many a tee shot has found that creek on the right, trees, problems on the left. There's no question there's a reward for a good tee shot here. But then there's a decision on do you go for this par 5 and 2. It's not overly long, just over 530 yards. It is very tempting.
Frank, second shot here at the par 5 7th. You having a go at this one?
Yes, but you still have to respect the water and the trouble around. So anything slightly left of that flag is fine.
That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Frank, that looked good to me. Well, that's just a case of not focusing right there. What a lapse in concentration. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Oh yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Don't forget, the final round comes your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, so long for now. Presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Thanks for joining us here today in Charlotte, North Carolina for the final round of the Wells Fargo Championship. Frank, what do we have out here today?
Well, if history has a chance of repeating itself, remember those great closing rounds by Rory McIlroy? That 62, that was one of the best rounds ever shot that year. Back in 2010, and of course that playoff too. Ricky Fowler back in 2012. We actually beat out then world number 1 Rory McIlroy with that stunning drive down the finishing hole and brilliant wedge to a tight flag. This golf course, it can give it, it can take it away, but for us, from where we're sitting, Rich, we'll enjoy the view today.
No doubt about it. He just blasted that one down the fairway, out there about 325 yards. Crucial eagle attempt on the way. I want to check the GPS on a putt this long. Pretty good stroke right there, just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Frank, I'm sure it feels good to get some red numbers on the card, but this tournament is probably too far out of reach at this point.
No question.
Frank, on this backside at Quail Hollow, a player does have a good chance to get off to a good start with that par 5 10th and now relatively short par 4 11th, where a player with a good drive could stick a short iron in their hands.
Yeah, this is one you're going to have to make a decision. You can just play this as a straightforward dogleg left par 4 and hit a 3-wood or a long iron up there and 9-iron or something like that into the green. Or, if you want it, you can try and blast a drive around the corner. I don't know if that's the more prudent play, but it's fun. Safely on deck.
Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie.
It's no snack, though.
Wow, I thought he made that. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the course.
Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, I think the mark of a good golf course design, changing directions. We go from a right to left hole, now at the 12th, to a left to right hole.
Yeah, there's no two holes at Quail Hollow that look the same. And this one's slightly downhill, fairway tilts a little bit to the right, and it's a bit of a sleeper. And plus you add in on top of that 450 yards plus. This is a fairway that has to be hit.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Steeply up the hill here. This is going to play very long. Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Pretty good shot right there. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Good roll, solid. That's a par. Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required. In the direction of the sand.
Looks like it.
Lucky devil. That was going in the bunker all the way.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Clean this up with a tap. Frank, it has been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey. Well, now we come to the really interesting 345-yard par 4 14th. Frank, I'm thinking that if you're leading, you're probably not going to try to drive this and take on the risk with the water on the left. But if you're behind, you have a chance to make up some ground.
Yeah, I have it written in my yardage book, Rich, on this hole. Only good and bad things happen with the driver. Nothing in between.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. A great roll right there. Just a pure stroke right in the heart. Now teed up at the 15th hole. It is the final par 5 here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. And Frank, I remember this hole well. McIlroy stiffed a 5-iron on his way to making eagle, his first PGA Tour win. That came back in 2010.
And the opportunity exists again here. Under 600 yards, plays downhill off the tee. Those two bunkers on the right are perfectly situated. That second one about 310 yards to it. So something straight at that one with a little draw will set up that mid-iron or long iron that has to be hit very high and uphill.
He's set up for his third shot here, looking to get it on the green with this. Birdie try up next. These putts keep the round together. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. In for par. At last, we have arrived at the start of one of the most daunting finishing stretches in all of golf. They call it the Green Mile, 16, 17, and 18 here at Quail Hollow. The 16th is a par 4, 508 yards, Frank.
And this hole was made even more difficult when they pushed that green further left to bring the water more in play with the second shot. I mean, it's a great par 4. It's strong in every single department.
This is an approach shot that will really test a player. Second to the 16th.
There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Just 2 holes remaining here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the signature par 3, 221 yards, the 17th.
And they have a multitude of tees here. One of the new back tees is actually where the old 16th green was. And if you think don't go left is the way to play, then that won't work either, because right's not that much good. This is it. Stand on the tee, and you better hit a good shot.
Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Frank, how about that?
Oh, can you believe that, too? I mean, could have hit the flag and bounced away, instead straight in. Amazing shot, and really deserves it.
Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area. Just over 290 yards to get past that, and then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
And into the thicker stuff.
Let's see if he can bludgeon this one out.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball. And he's made it onto the green. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Drops for a par. So that concludes the final round here at this spectacular setting. Frank, final thoughts on the tournament?
Rich, I thought this was really a fantastic venue that challenged the players, and we saw some exciting golf out there all across the board.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Players. We're at the TPC Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida for one of the game's most prestigious titles, the Players Championship. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Now to the 10th hole. Has not been a stellar performance to this point, but Frank, not too bad.
When you consider 4-round events, Rich, you're going to have a period where there's a little lull. As long as you can minimize the damage over the course of 4 days, it turns out all right. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Well, Frank, the wind is really starting to pick up.
We've got to fixate on the direction now. If you get the direction wrong and or mistime one of those gusts, all sorts of problems.
Second shot now at the 10th, and again, Frank, accuracy is at a premium.
Yeah, gone are the days to sort of thrash it out of the trees like Phil Mickelson. Ideally, coming out of that fairway, you're hitting to a green that moves to the right, so that makes it a little bit more difficult than what the mind's eye first sees.
See a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. All right, hole number 11 here at the TPC Sawgrass, 558-yard, par 5, no shortage of options, no shortage of hazards, Frank.
If there's one hole at TPC Sawgrass where you can literally leap out of your shoes, this is it. There's something about a well-hit shot.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Frank, from this point, it is all about precision.
Yeah, that right side, you're looking at that big gaping bunker. And that green's not very deep from that angle. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Early part of this second nine with a good approach shot. And now, pretty good chance for birdie.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Good birdie, now at 1 under for the tournament. Up now, hole number 12. It's a short one, 358-yard, par 4.
This can catch you off guard. If you just try and hit the ball on the fairway, if you're on the middle of the fairway, the left side, you will have a blind second shot. So ideally, hit it down that right side of the fairway if you want to see the flag.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Beautiful approach shot there and a good chance to take advantage. Back-to-back birdies, we'll see. Who knows? It is a 4-round tournament, setting himself up for a good weekend, maybe a great one. The young star makes his birdie. Hole number 13 here at Sawgrass, tricky 181-yard par 3.
You don't have to hit directly at this flag. When that flag's at the back there, you can use the contours. When it's on the left, once again, you can use the ridge in the middle of the green. Matter of fact, one of the hardest hole locations is when it's in the front right, because that's when you have to be perfect. In the direction of the sand.
Looks like it. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Nice par to remain at 2 under. Frank, 14 is so often a pivotal hole here at the TPC Sawgrass.
It is, Rich, and when you see a player hit 2 shots comfortably on this green, you think, what's all the problems about 14? But when you see someone stray left or stray right, you realize that 14 is a real bear.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Now playing the second here at the par 4. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up. Settles in over the putt. Moves into the top 10 with that birdie. That's the end of round 1, and we saw a lot of good golf out there today, Frank.
And it was a bonus to anyone that got off to a good start today.
NBC Golf Channel, on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Players. Now on to one of the most exciting back nines in golf here at the TPC Sawgrass and the Stadium course. Let's begin at number 10. Frank, and what do you make of this hole?
It's another one where you're just trying to fit the tee shot in the fairway there. It's not a driver, just something that stays right. And of course, we've seen a lot of people stray here down the left side. Who can forget Mickelson when he won his Players Championship, hitting that phenomenal 7-iron out of the fairway bunker through the trees and still finding the putting surface. But speaking of the putting surface, this green has more undulations than just about any green on the golf course. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Well, this is how you build a good round, Frank. You just keep hitting greens. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Oh, I thought he had that. Starting the back nine on a sour note here with a drop shot. Bogey at the 10th. Just a couple of feet. Frank, they didn't have any openings at EA Sports Basketball because, I mean, this is just brutal to watch. Now to the 11th, par 5.
Good tee shot, and then you certainly think about hitting a hybrid or a lofted fairway wood into this green that's really narrow, one of the narrowest on the golf course. There's a little pot bunker left of this green when you go for 2 that often swallows up that second shot if it's a little bit too conservative. But there's a lake there. Seen more than one ball splash in the pond over the years.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards.
Second shot.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Oh, it looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
Needs this for par. That is a solid par putt. Now to the par 4 12th, and it's a pretty short hole, Frank.
Yeah, Pete Dye often doesn't get enough credit for his short par 4s. This is a great example where one of the features of it is the blind second shot, just to give you a little bit of doubt on judging the distance.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Now the approach to the 12th. Frank, what's the player looking at?
Well, it's a fun shot here for the second shot, especially if you've driven it down the right side, because then you can see the flag no matter where it is on the green.
Good swing, good shot yet again. Had a birdie here yesterday, in there close. Great opportunity for another one. Birdie try again here today. And with that birdie, into the top 25 on the leaderboard. And Frank, we always like when they have the whole location back left and that ball trickles down, feeds. You can see some really good ones and maybe even an ace here.
Yeah, just like Mickelson a few years ago. Down there, it looked like it was going to flirt with a bunker, ran up and over the ridge, and in it goes. This is one where you have to play ground ball as well as high ball.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot.
Even par currently.
That would have been a real bonus had it dropped, but as it is, good putt. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Boy, that hurts right there, Frank.
Yeah, he's got to knuckle down now, though, because, we've seen it before, Rich. 2 putts turn into 3, 4. So make sure you can limit the damage here.
Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
Frank, Tiger certainly had his adventures here at 14.
Well, we'll never forget that. Spun it left. In the end, was very, very lucky to get away with 6. Had it been 7, Garcia might have just caught him at the post. But he will, and we will, never forget 14.
But this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Oh, a bit unfortunate. Wasn't able to avoid the sand trap. So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, who we knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or 2. Aim the club at that and made sure they followed through.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Players. That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
You want to get to what they call the gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18 with a chance. 16 is the reachable par 5. You can make eagle there. And then the final 2 holes, you just want to steer clear of trouble. Though, with bold play, and you mentioned it with Craig Perks, you could make birdies.
It really is a case of mind over matter when you look at those holes. You're right. If you took away the water, you'd think they're 3 nice holes. But it wouldn't be the same. You intimidate the player as he plays 15. He's well aware of the finishing 3 holes.
Getting set now over the putt. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. If you're just joining us, we're at the 15th hole here at TPC Sawgrass, 449-yard par 4. Frank, what's in store here?
One of the prettiest tee shots on the golf course, Rich. Once again, you're coming out of a chute of trees, big bunker down the right side. Really, you want to hug that right side, though. It gives you a better entry into this green.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, I just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
The second shot.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
Love it with a nice splash out of the bunker. It lands softly and just runs out right next to the hole. Beautiful shot.
A lip out's fine as long as it